G'day guys, welcome back to SuperCoach with DR and welcome to the round 4 stock market video where I'll take you through all of the relevant players' break-evens. We'll discuss some of those players we may be looking to bring into the side, some of those players that we may look to sell, and some of those players that we may like to keep on our watch list because either they've got a really low break-even or we know that they're going to be tumbling in price in the coming weeks. And I've certainly got a few players on my watch list at the moment. And just quickly before I get into the video, I think it is really important also to make sure that we look ahead for our future trades. That's what I've done at the moment. I've basically penciled in what I think would be an ideal side to finish the season with. And that's what I think you should be doing as well. So don't just think about who you're going to be bringing in next week, but also think about who you're going to be bringing in the week after and the week after that. I know it's really hard to plan at times, and when someone gets injured, some of those plans can go out the window, but it certainly doesn't hurt to have a plan in place anyway, even if you can't use it in the end. So let's get into it. Actually, before I do, I have set up a new Instagram account, so it's SuperCoach with DR with a couple of underscores there, and also a Twitter account, so it's at SuperCoachD. So if you want to follow me, feel free to do that as well. So we'll start off with the defenders, obviously. Up the top, we've got Sam Doherty, an average of 129 with a break-even of 5. He's by far the best buy here, as you can see there in the notes section. Get him in if you haven't. It's as simple as that. Braden Maynard, we'll talk about someone that surprised me. An average of 113. After the first couple of games, I thought, geez, he's just a flash in the pan. Got lucky, but he showed some consistent form over the past month. So with a break-even of 55, I can't believe I'm saying it, but he wouldn't be the worst buy. He wouldn't be the worst player, that we could actually bring into our sides. You'll notice I've got the pod badge on him there. I'll only have the pod badge on those players who I think are worth actually having a look at. You'll notice that there are a heap of other pods that you'll see in some of the other tables, but I haven't got the badge on them because I don't rate them really as a pick. James Sicily there, by now I think, break even of 60. If you're looking to bring a defender in, he's shown over the last couple of weeks he's back to his consistent best. I think he's a solid pick and a good selection if you're looking to bring a premium backman in. Same as Caleb Daniel. I would have loved to start with this bloke, just didn't have the money. But a break-even of 64, average of 106. He's also fine to bring in. Nick Haynes, the other pod badge there. Really love this pick. Break-even of 86 with an average of 106. As I said last week, I think he'll float between scores of probably 90 to 110. Jeremy Howe, unfortunately, we've got to sell him. I'm not known to myself, but yeah, I really feel bad for this bloke. But if you've got him, you need to sell him, and any of those options that I've mentioned above, I think would be suitable ins for him. I've got the binoculars on the Seagull Jake Lloyd, as I always will. I want to bring this bloke into my side at some stage, but I want to wait for his price to come down a little bit. And the last one I've got there as sell is, I've got Dean Rampy. Dane Rampy it's meant to be, isn't it? Yeah, but Dean Rampy, as I call him, get rid of him if you've got him. A break-even of 184. He is a bit of a pod, but he's going down. So get rid of him now and try to jump on one of those other options. The mid-price defenders now. Can't believe at the top, Hayden Core. Average of 83, negative 15. Don't have a look at him, but I just thought that it was interesting that out of all the mid-price defenders, he had the lowest break-even. The best buy out of the lot, I think, is Jordan Ridley from the Bombers. 410,100. Average of 109 and a break-even of only 9. Look, it would have been ideal to get him in last week, and I should have. In hindsight, as I said, I did have a pretty close look at him, but I just wasn't that confident in the end. But if you are looking for someone around the 400k mark, Ridley's a man because he won't be there for much longer, as you can see. Very quickly, I'll give Levi a mention. I can't believe the form that he's in at the moment. Average of 97. I wouldn't be going anywhere near him. But yeah, good on you, Levi. You've had a really good start to the year, mate. Adam Sard is a pod that I do really like. Break even of 55. Again, probably last week was ideal to get on him, but you probably would have want to see just one more week out of him. So I really like him as a pod selection, and he's someone that you should be looking at to possibly bring in if you are looking to bring someone in with low ownership. I've got the binoculars on Rory Lade, as I call him. Geez, the spelling is absolutely terrible. Apologies for that. Laird there, I'll always have the binoculars on because I rate him as a pick. I rate his consistency. This year may not be the year. I still haven't got him into the side. I may not get him in, but I'll continue to have him on the watch list. And if he can pump out a couple of half-decent scores, then that may be good enough for me to bring him in if he's at a decent price. Get rid of Houston, it feels so much better. I can tell you that from personal experience. I got rid of him last week and really happy to see the back of him. Tom Stewart, unfortunately, he's a sell as well after his injury. I don't know exactly how long he's out for, but I think it'll be a few weeks with his collarbone there. Huge break even of 185, so just get rid of him. But he still is at a decent price at around your 500 mark, so there's lots of options to go up, within the 40 to 50k range, and then there's also certainly lots of options you can possibly go down with as well. Zach Williams on the watch list again. Break even 145. I really rate this guy as a player. And when he bottoms out, I'll certainly be having a very, very close look at him. And on to the sub 300k defenders now. The top four, I've got buy nows there. Williamson, Young, Rivers, and Butler. And the best buy, I've got Stephen Hill. I was close to putting almost Butler as the best buy, but I think for Hill, he's got that DPP status. He's under 200 grand. He's never had, elite numbers before, but he's had some consistent numbers. He's a talented sort of bloke. He's best 22 when he's fit. That is, the only trouble, if he's fit, because we know his history, but I've got him as the best buy there. I think you can swing him forward, swing him back, and also use Brander as well as a bit of a loop there and a swing there. Butler has a DPP as well. The reason why I didn't really have him as the best buy was due to the fact that I'm not quite sure about his job security, but as -3 with his DPP, I think he's a good buy. Rivers is probably still cheap enough to buy him. Didn't have a great week last week, but -15, 139, I think you can still buy him. I'll skip Young. Williamson, 178. Again, you're paying a little bit more, but you could go worse if you're looking to bring a backline rookie in. He's got a -26 break even, and he'll be looking to make some more money. Hayden Young, look, last week I said don't go near this bloke because the data didn't suggest, to go there. It was bad sort of data, but he played out of his skin on the weekend. Some really nice intercept marks there. I think there were some contested intercept marks as well. Lovely disposal. So you could go worse than him, but I'd prefer to go a Hill for 190 over a Young, I think. Even though he had that really good score, that may tempt some people, but I won't be going there personally. And Lachlan Ash down there at the bottom, I think he's actually lost money. Average of 32, break even of 45. Yeah, unfortunately, he's been a little bit of a failed pick. On to the midfielders, 500 plus. My boy at the top, Huey McCluggage. I did a breakout contender video on Huey during the preseason. All the data suggested that he was for a breakout year. 112 average, break even of 13. If you're looking for a nice pod, you could go worse at that price. Bit of a risk, but look, it's a year to take a few risks, I think. The Bont, I think he's right to buy now. Break even of 69. Massive score over the weekend. It was interesting that they didn't tag him in the first half, but even in the second half, he still played okay. And I think if you're looking to buy Bont, now is certainly the time. We've got to sell Dunkley. He's injured. Get him out of your side. Duncan could be a pod to look at. Got the binoculars on Clary and Titch. Titch, big score on the weekend. Probably someone I'll look to bring into my side. Love this guy as well, Taylor Adams as a pod. As I said, it's the year to go a little bit different. And he's someone that I'm looking really, really closely at. I wouldn't have said that at the start of the year, but it is a little bit different this year. And if I'm looking to take a risk, Taylor Adams could be someone that's a nice pod we could look at. Dangerfield there, I've got him obviously, but if you haven't got him, put him on your watch list because he hit form last week. If you can continue some of those prices, he's at a pretty nice price to pick him up at the moment. And Boak, he's been a terrific pod. If you selected him at the start of the year, congratulations, what a terrific pick. Continuing the midfielders, 500k plus, Jack McRae, 125 break even. I was expecting more from him, but look, he did get tagged in the first half, so we got to remember that. But he did, I think, let a little bit loose in the second half. But with a score in the low 90s, I wouldn't be looking to bring him into my side. Gaff, I think, is a really nice pod. Brownlow Neal there. Look at his price, 763,800. I've put the exclamation mark there on the average, 160. Break even of 128. How's that? He's got a break even of 128, and it's 32 under his average. And we're coming into round 5. That is just unbelievable. Tim Kelly, really interested in this pick as well. once they get back to WA. Another high break even of 130 there. He's shown us nothing so far, but still keeping him on the watch list. Same as Josh Kelly, his an Uber Primo that's been out of form a little bit, but bounced back on the weekend. Always looking at him. Fife, got the binoculars on him. I'm a non-owner, so once he does come back from his injury, hopefully for me anyway, he can fall down in price a little bit, and then I'll look to bring him in. Cogs, again, if you're looking for a really, really cheap option, his price is looking to go down over the next couple of weeks, and you'll be able to get him under 500k. So, could be definitely someone that you could look at if you want a cheaper sort of an option. On to the mid-price midfielders, not much to see here. Keeper Real, obviously there with a break-even of 21, average of 127. He's your best buy. I think everyone's got him anyway. Perryman's an interesting one. Fairly low break-even compared to his average, but couldn't trust him. The only other one I've got the binoculars on there is Elliot Yeo. Similar reasons to Tim Kelly. And the midfielders under 300k. I think the best buy is probably Tom Green. I'm frustrated because I traded him out after round one. Didn't think he was going to get a game, but played a lot better than Haitley, I think. Break even of negative 21. If you're looking to bring a midfielder in, you got a little bit of extra cash. Maybe you could look to bring Green in, but you are paying close to 200 now. Binoculars on Harley Bennell. If he comes in, I think that you select him. If he doesn't, then you obviously wait till he does. Caleb Sarong, I've got the buy now there. Look, you are paying a little bit more, but the reasoning or the thinking behind that is the fact that Nathan Fyfe's going to be out, and you'd be expecting him to have a little bit of extra midfield time. And look, he's a talented player, early pick. I think they'll want to get games into him. And the binoculars I've got there on Marlon Pickett, mainly because, look, I'm not too sure what's going to happen with him. We may be looking to trade him out of our sides fairly soon. Certainly don't look to bring him in. I haven't got the binoculars on him because of that. I've got him on him because we may be looking to get him out. Look, he's got more cash to make. You can see there's a difference of 31 between his break-even and his average. But maybe after another game, depending on what he scores, if it's another 40-odd, yeah, maybe move him on. On to the Rucks. I'll try to race through this because the video is going for a little bit longer than I'd planned for. Naismith, we need to get out. He's injured. I think he's out for the whole season, even though he's got a break-even of negative 29. That's just unfortunate, I think. We've got to get him out. And the bloke I think that we bring in for him is Tristan X. He's got a break-even of negative 6. Does he play next week? I'm not too sure. Even if he doesn't, not bad for a loophole, I don't think there. Source Jacobs, you should have sold him last week, but if you haven't, you've got to get rid of him. Gorn, I think, can be a buy now. A break-even of only 84 with an average of 139. I don't know whether the double game is going to be, beneficial to Melbourne players because I don't know if their time on ground will be limited. Will they want to keep Gorn fresh for round 2 of that week and only keep him to a 60 to 70% game time? I'm not too sure. Just be careful, but I think he's a good buy. And I think the only other 2 ruckmen we should be looking to bring into our sides, apart from Gorn, are Goldstein and Grundy. I think most of us have got Grundy, but if you haven't, look to get him in at some stage when he goes down in price a little bit. And Goldstein, I think it's pretty safe to say that he's going to be a solid selection at our R2 or even possibly R1 this year. On to the 500k plus forwards. My Simpkin at the top. I've finally got him in my side now. Wrap with that. Break even of only 41 still. He's my best buy for the elite forwards there. Bailey Smith, I still think is a good pick. Break even of 96. He's a buy now for me because I think he'll be a top 6 to 8 forward by the year's end. Walters had a great season. Martin, I've got the binoculars on him because I'm a little bit worried about him. It may not be a crazy move to even look to even trade him out for a short-term period. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you're looking to go crazy, maybe you could do that. On to the mid-price forwards. Look at those 2 names at the top there, Dixon and Butler. Are they realistic targets? Well, I said Butler wasn't, and look what he did. So he's my best buy this week, Butler, at that price. But worried about him going forward still, but he's got more cash to make. Look, could he be a keeper? I've seen crazier things, but I'd still be worried, but he's my best buy. Wingard, I think I've got to concede now with an average of 112. I think he's a good get. A break even at 20. If you're looking to get a forward in, yeah, you couldn't go worse than Wingard. And I think, as I said, I've just got to concede on this pick. I think he's a good pick. And then down to Petrarca there, average of 107, break even of 69. I still think he's a buy now. I still think he's a top 6 to 8 forward, similar to Bailey Smith and Simpkin. I think they can stay there. I think he's a buy it now if you're looking to get him in. And you can stay there at the bottom, Andrew, stay unsure. Mr. Brayshaw, well, I'm still not sure. I'd love to trade him out, but with 5 missing, I'm probably giving him another week. More mid-price forwards, well, right back down there to Jack Stephen. Here's a sell. I can't believe that, an average of 28 and a break-even of 130. Get rid of him if you've got him for any reason. If you brought him in before his first game, just get rid of him because he's going down in a big, big way. And look at those other two there. Rosie, break even of 184. I know many people brought him in. He was looking to be a real breakout contender. But as I said, I was always worried about his role. And I think people ask me a lot about Rosie, Simpkin, Petrarca and Smith. He was always down the bottom for me purely because of that role. Nothing to do with talent. And Lockie Whitfield, got the binoculars on him. Beautiful, phenomenal Whitfield owners. Another big break even of 186. I'll be looking to jump on him next week. So, yeah, for Whitfield owners, yeah, it hasn't been great, a great sort of fortnight, but I wouldn't jump off him now. It's too late. You just got to ride out this one more price drop, and then hopefully he can bounce back with some nice scores for you. And finishing off with the forwards, under 300k. The buy now I've got there is Jack Marnie. Look, I don't think he's going to give you some really, really big scores, but I know there was one piece of play, and the commentators really wrapped him up for this, where I think he had 3 involvements, ended up scoring a goal from it, so gets involved, gets in and under, only a little sort of a fella, but if you're looking for a DPP mid or forward, then I think Marnie is your man. And then down there to Jacob Townsend, I think you look to sell. So you can see there that the break-even is now higher than the average. I was worried that he couldn't replicate that round 1 form. It's just his role again. So I think if you've got him, look to sell him and get possibly a Marnie in. And maybe Curtis Taylor may be on the chopping block in a couple of weeks' time also. So that is the end of the SuperCoach with DR round 4 stock market video. It went a little bit longer than I expected, guys, so apologies for that, but I think it is important to have a chat about some of those guys, as I said at the start of the video, that we are looking to trade in, looking to sell, and possibly looking to hold for now. And finally, don't forget that we do have the SuperCoach with DR subscriber group. The subscriber count has been going up pretty rapidly, actually, over the last month, so really appreciate that. So make sure that you do enter the group. The code there is 345115, got a $25 first prize, and on the way to 1,000 subs. If we can get there, then I'll chuck $100 up as a first prize, just as a little bit of an incentive, and a big, big thank you for all the support I've been getting. So hope all is well, guys. Hope the team planning is going okay. Hopefully this video helps you out just a little bit, and I'll see you soon with the next one. Take care, guys.